Okay, here we are. We've got a ball frame similar to the wreath, made basically the same way, but obviously just in the shape of a ball. If you wanted to just pick up a kit here at the greenhouse, do one yourself. It's always fun kind of doing it yourself. Kind of be creative and use the plants that you've got. It comes with a chain, and the top hooks on when you're all done making it, and we give you enough moss that you can line it with, and you just have to use your own soil. Again, I probably use a little heavier soil, a little top dirt and compost, and that will just hold together better and not have to dry out as quick. Now I'm going to start one, just show you the starting process, and then we'll show you the finished ball. What we're going to do is, again, we wet our moss so it's a little easier to work with, and we're just going to kind of pull it apart into a mat. The hole in the top is big enough for your hand to get in. Again, trying to line it with enough moss to fill these gaps, but not too much that you're taking up all your soil capacity with moss. And we start kind of on the bottom. We're going to work our way up to the side. Kind of consider that the back side. You see some more of the roots, and that's not as nice as that side. So what you want to do is you're lining it, kind of put the not so good side on the inside, and then on the outside you will end up looking at something a little nicer. As you can see here, that should probably be flipped around, and you can see the better side. So we will continue doing this, and then we will add our soil. Okay, we've lined it with some moss. We've added our dirt. Now I've only gone up halfway. You can see I haven't filled the whole thing. That's kind of on purpose. So I'll show you in a minute. As we start adding the plants, I'm going to add some plants that have a bigger root system that have come out of it. Actually, 804 tray, and that just means I've taken a pack that you normally buy as like a flat, but there's 4 plants in here. You can see the little packs are a bit bigger than what we were using here for the ajuga, which had very actually no dirt on the roots. So I pulled some out. Now this is a pansy. I'm kind of demonstrating this, so if you wanted to go and buy a pack of marigolds or petunias or dusty miller, something obviously that's small, I'm going to show you how to put this in. And what I've actually done is over here I got a bucket of water, and I've kind of sloshed it around, let it soak for a couple of minutes. With my fingers I've kind of tried to get some of that dirt out. So what we've got is a smaller root system. I kind of just squeezed it a little bit, and now we've got a smaller, more workable root system here. So instead of trying to poke that square into this. But now these wires, like I said, are about 2 inches apart, so they're pretty wide. You could probably almost get that in. But what I did, I just smaller. And we're going to lay that kind of in with the root ball kind of facing down on an angle, down towards the bottom of the ball. Okay, press it in a little bit. Now the plants, just here on the edge, they're going to be a little floppy. I mean, that's not going to pull out because that's got 3 inches of roots behind it, so it's going nowhere. But in a couple days, this will start to just grow up, and it'll look really, really good. So we're going to add just a little more dirt. What I do with this dirt, we got a soil that's slightly wet. It's a little more of a compost topsoil and combination. We just put that in. You don't want to kind of have to try to get your dirt in without knocking your moss down the sides. So I'm going to slosh these around. Just take off a little bit of that. You're not really getting rid of the roots, but you're just getting rid of some of the soil that's around the roots, so it's a little easier to work with. Fill this right up. I'm going to do every other slot here. Actually, I'm going to skip. You can see this one's a little narrower. So, this fits in pretty good with the without taking much dirt off. So you know what? I'm going to leave it. Okay, I've got some on the side. Don't forget the bottom. Now the bottom ones we've done first, and then you work your way up to the middle and then the top. So that's what we're working on right now. I'm just poking a few more in. Now this is where as you get closer to the top, the wires, the spacing is much more smaller. So I'm soaking these in, kind of giving a little squeeze, trying to get that root ball as small as possible. Again, without losing the roots, but you're just losing some of the soil. And we're going to put that right into the top. Careful you don't push too hard on the roots, because that's obviously what you need for these plants to do well. And now as you push it down in a little bit gently, you want to make sure it's hitting the dirt. If it's not any dirt there to push against, then you can just, you know, keep adding a little more soil, which is basically how we're building this whole thing from the bottom up. A little moss on the side, a little dirt, and then your plants, and then continue that process. And now I'm going to just push, make sure that dirt's pushed up against the side here too. It's pretty good, but there's kind of a hole here right now. So I'm just going to continue to fill that up. Okay, we've got all our plants in. Now when you do this, the plants get a little, yeah, it looks a little beat up kind of, but I can tell you in a couple days these will perk up. And what I would probably do is go ahead and just cut your flowers off. Now remember, we've kind of stressed the plant probably a little bit by cutting off some of the roots and pushing them in. So this, instead of the energy and all the work going to make flowers, we really want to grow roots and kind of get some of the plant established here like that. So I will continue to do that. So once you get all the flowers cut off, what I've done is that we have a little tube that we insert into the ball. Now because this is a ball and it's kind of hard to water something that's shaped like that, even though your dirt, I'll show you here in the front, is flat on top. And now if this is dry, again the water's going to tend to want to just run off. So it's kind of hard to soak these plants here on the bottom. So what I've done is just inserted, once I've filled it with all your plants, you push a little bit more dirt on top. I've taken a little PVC pipe, which you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's, a hardware store. I've drilled some about 1/4-inch holes, maybe about 4 into this little pipe, and that's where you're going to add the water. I've just taken a little piece of duct tape and just put it on the bottom so your water doesn't flow all the way right out the bottom of the pipe. It will fill up and obviously come out these holes. So when you water the top, your water will be gathered up here and then will go right down the pipe and come out the holes and hopefully be watering right to the very bottom. So this is a good little simple way of watering it. What I'm going to also do is just add a little bit of moss now that I'm done with that, just right here on the edge, because as we've been planting and pushing it down, it's kind of settled a little bit. I'm going to moss that, and just like that. That will actually, as the moss dries, it will kind of stick together and kind of act as a little barrier, something to hold your water as you do water it. Now you want to water it slowly too. You could give it a shot of Miracle-Gro about every 10 days. That will just help feed this plant. And a little Osmocote too, right here on the top. You can sprinkle a little bit. Every time you water, you're basically feeding your plant. So that's how the top of your ball should look. And then we're just going to take the ring that they give you. You just slip it in there like that. Now we put this little hook on. They're going to actually hook onto the outside rings. You start one and you just systematically kind of go around and hook every other one. It's a pretty easy system. And that holds it really good. We've got a chain, and you're just going to slip it right here onto the top, and you're ready to go. Now these, not like the wreaths, basically this is how you can hang it right up, and then we'll go ahead and give it a good light watering. Not a lot, because you don't want to just totally saturate this, because everything's been just kind of put together. And you'll see as you water it, it'll go right down the hole, and then it'll fill up the top a little bit, and you're good to go.